Welcome to Annual Planning Like an Introvert. This is part 2. If you haven't done part 1 yet, go back and do that because that's going to get you set up to do this half of the process. As I mentioned in the first part, this is not your typical annual planning. While most annual planning is about your finances, we are looking deeper. That's because most of the introverts that I work with are not driven by the financial aspect. They're driven by the impact that they can make. How have they helped someone? How have they made a difference? How have they changed their own situation? That's what matters to them. So that's what this process is all about. And the reason that matters is because if you set an annual plan that you actually care about, that is aligned with what matters to you, you're more likely to follow it through. You're more likely to stay focused on it throughout the year to come. So that's what this process that I pulled together here is all about. In this video, we're going to talk about the year ahead and the impact you want to make. How do you need to take your own introversion into account as you put that plan together and then as you put it into action? This planning that we're about to talk about is about feeding your soul. As we go through the questions in this section, we're going to build on the answers that you came up with to the first set of questions in the previous video. So you're going to take what you learned as you look back and use that as a basis for planning as you look forward. All right, let's set your intentions for the year ahead. I'm about to ask you a series of questions to help you strategically plan for your business and your marketing in the new year. But these questions are more than just prompts. They are invitations to dive deep into what truly matters to you and to your business. And so I invite you to use them to design an annual plan that is in alignment with what matters to you. Your answers to these questions will lay the groundwork for a year that is authentic and fulfilling and successful on your terms. Are you ready? Let's get started. Question number 1. What are your aspirations for the year ahead? As an introverted business owner, it's important that the goals or intentions that you set for yourself resonate deeply with your authentic self. So as you think about the year ahead, ask this question. What are your aspirations? What do you aspire to be? What do you envision that matters to you? Your answer might be that you aspire to make a particular meaningful impact. What is that impact? Perhaps you want yourself or your business to grow in a certain way that aligns with your values and your intentions. What are those specific directions that you want yourself or your business to grow? I feel like I'm being vague, but I invite you to be specific. Try to really envision what this will look like a year from now. So if you want to make an impact, what does that look like and what is the result of that impact? Get really specific and visualize what this could look like. When you get to the end of the year and look back, what is that going to look like? What will you see? What will you have achieved and how will it make you feel? Put yourself in that moment and describe this achievement that you aspire to. This is your opportunity to set an intention that really matters to you. So think about what resonates. Think about what you value. Think about the impact you truly want to make. Question number 2. What is something different that you want to do in your business or your marketing? Another way to think about this one is, what do you want to add or what do you want to subtract? Maybe you want to diversify your services or bring on a new product. Maybe you want to take on a new marketing tactic, add a new channel, or subtract one. Maybe you want to bring more of your introverted qualities into your content or into your marketing or into your business and how you show up. I'm an especially huge supporter of that last one. It's important that you be authentic and be yourself in your marketing and how you show up with your clients and your prospects. If you want to bring more of your introverted qualities into your business, what does that look like? Really envision it for yourself so that when you're doing it, you know what it looks like and you know that you've achieved it. And some specific examples are, maybe you want to do some more writing. So you're going to blog or you're going to send newsletters. Maybe you're happy to be on social media, but you don't want to do so much video. So you're going to choose to do static posting, images and captions without video, even though the channel requires it, which they don't. You have choices. Or maybe you want to try more video. What does that look like? Get really clear so that you can choose to bring it into your marketing. What shifts can you make, not just to grow your business, but to impact your experience as a business owner? One of the things I talked about during the first video was joy. What can you bring into your business that's a little bit more joyful for you? What's a little bit more authentic in the way you want to show up? Instead of pretending to be somebody else or to do what other people tell you to do, what do you want to do? And how can you bring that into your marketing and your business this year? Question number 3. What will you do differently in your marketing. You've probably heard this. If you want something different, you need to do something different. And this is where that applies. Because here's the thing, if you want to bring your business to another level, you have to change what you're doing. What you've been doing has only gotten you where you are, and it's also keeping you where you are. What got you here won't get you there, because what got you here is also keeping you here. In order to get to the next step, you need to do something different. So what is that thing that you want to do different? We were looking at your past in the last set of questions. That's where you can find this answer, because those are the things that got you here, but are also keeping you here. So if you want to go someplace else with your business in the new year, what do you need to change? Maybe you need to bring yourself into your own content so that your audience can learn a little bit more about you. Maybe you need to change the topics that you talk about in your content into things that are a little bit more divisive, or content that matters more to you. Maybe you just need to level up. Or maybe if you don't tend to sell or put your offers out where people can find them, maybe you need to do more than that. I bring that one up because that's what I did different last year. And I'm going to continue to do it this year because it was a huge game changer. Let me dig into that a little bit, because I know that this can be a really challenging step to take. Doing something different is intimidating and scary, but it's also going to get you to where you're trying to go. And doing something different isn't just about setting new goals. It's also about showing up differently and taking different types of action, doing things that will drive different results. I stepped into this big time last year. I decided I was done playing small. And I got really clear in a video actually here on YouTube about how I was playing small. And understanding how I was playing small helped me make an important shift. And that shift resulted in me making some very big and important changes about how I promote my business. So choosing to do something different, choosing to show up differently and to take different action impacted my business significantly in a way that I'm very excited about, to the point where I'm going to continue it into this new year. But change is also hard and it's scary. It can be very, very big and it can feel intimidating. What are some small changes you can make? Note the big change if you know what it is, but you can also just note some smaller changes that are a little bit easier of a shift, because a bunch of small changes make one big change. So what do you want to do differently in your marketing? Capture that so that you can go back to it and hold yourself accountable and make the changes you envisioned for yourself. Question number 4. How will you incorporate your introversion into your marketing? Your introversion is not just a trait. It's not just who you are. It's also a strength and a unique way that you can stand out, especially in your marketing. So as you look to the year ahead, ask this question. How do you want to weave your introverted qualities into your marketing? To figure this out, think about what your unique introverted traits are. And instead of hiding them and shoving them aside to pretend that you're somebody else, how can you bring them in with you and show up as your authentic introverted self? So maybe it's your tendency to think deeply, and maybe it's a decision to share some of those deeper thoughts in your content. Maybe it's your knack for building one-on-one relationships, and so you're going to do more one-on-one relationships instead of trying to talk to the masses, because that one-on-one is where you're comfortable. Perhaps you prefer less aggressive marketing tactics. So you're going to spend this year looking at maybe assertive or engaging tactics that are not aggressive and that don't come off as aggressive. In other words, you're making your marketing your own, which is incredibly powerful and will help you stand out without feeling like you're standing out. The thing to notice here is when you embrace your introversion, you can transform the way you show up in your marketing and in the way you connect with your audience. This is you being authentic, and it's going to promote trust with the people you're trying to connect with. The thing is, marketing does not have to be loud to be effective. In fact, it's in your subtleties that you can make the biggest impact. Your power lies in your authenticity and in the ability that you have to make connections with people. Whatever it is in your introversion that you want to bring forward, that's you being authentic, and I highly encourage it. Question number 5. What's your plan for balancing work and rest in the new year? As an introvert, your energy is a key piece to your success, but you need to find the right balance of work and rest. It's interesting because if I ask an extrovert, how do you recover? An extrovert has no idea what I'm talking about. But if I ask an introvert, how do you recover? I hear things from, I take naps, I read, I go for a walk, I get outside, I cook. A lot of different things can help us recover our energy, and it can be helpful to be planful with that in the new year. When you set your plan for work and for rest, what you're doing is setting clear boundaries for your well-being, for your energy, and for your joy, so that you can feel more comfortable in a rested version of yourself. For example, I'm a morning person, so I'm going to sit down in my office around 7 a.m. and get a lot more done, and then I'm going to knock off early. I have a client who shows up at her desk at noon. And that's fine. That's alignment with our own energy levels, enabling us to show up as our best selves at work where we need that energy. Another way that you could be doing this is to plan as you go into the year that every time you have an event that you know is going to draw a lot of energy, that you bookend it with downtime. So I run regular master classes, and before it and right after it, I bookend it with some serious downtime so that I can go into it energized, and then I can recover and pull my shit together when I'm done. Any of these ideas, or maybe other ideas that you have, can help you not just manage your energy, but respect and honor your introversion and help you show up as your authentic self. We have more say over our environment, over our schedules, than we allow ourselves to have. If you could have control over that, and you do, what changes do you want to make in the new year that's going to make it just a more pleasant experience for you so that you can show up as your best self and feel good about it? Self-care isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. And when it comes to your business and your marketing, it's an integral part of the success that you're aiming for. So when we talk about your recovery and your energy and how you're going to show up as your best self, we're still talking about your business and your marketing, because you need to be your best self in order to execute those activities. And it's when you productively set these things up and manage your time and your energy that you set yourself up for a successful and sustainable year. I know I said that there were 5 questions. I want to ask you one more. Where will you bring joy into your marketing? Where do you want to look for it? Where do you want to focus on it? Where will joy fit into your marketing? I know for me, joy is often in the topics I get to talk about. I'm a deep thinker and I like to go deep, and so I choose to go deep. It's scary, but it's also a lot of fun. I love having those deeper conversations, so that's one of the places that in my marketing I find joy. Where will you find joy in your marketing in the new year? So that's actually 6 questions that we've just gone through, and I want to know which one has resonated with you the most. Which one was the most powerful for you? Which one gave you the biggest aha or takeaway? Let me know in the comments. I hope that these questions looking ahead, combined with the previous video's questions of looking back, have come together to help you put together a structure for a new year that makes more sense for you, that looks possible, that looks energetic, that encompasses a little bit of joy and helps you get clear on what you need to do different in order to show up differently. Most importantly, I hope you're seeing how you can bring in your introversion in order to show up authentically, not just authentically to the world out there, but to feel authentic in how you're showing up. When you embrace your unique qualities, bring in what you've learned from the past, and set meaningful intentions going forward, you set yourself up for success. And so I'm wishing you great success in the year to come.